we review 7 high profit items that you can include in your box in the future. And so today we got Catherine Zabladil, who is the co-founder and co-CEO of the Vertical Collective. She's on with me today. Hey, Catherine, how are you?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. So glad to have you back on.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And I really do love doing these. One, I appreciate your partnership to SUBTA and all your support. But two, it's really helpful for you to give ideas to some of these sub box companies on what they can put in future boxes. Because I know as a former subscription box owner, like curation can be tough sometimes, and you have to like start to get creative. And then one thing I know that we want to touch on, and I'm glad me and you talked about this before, is we're talking about spring 2022 stuff because we want to help you be more proactive and get ahead of the game on getting products for your box, right? And Catherine, even before we start, tell everybody really quickly about the Vertical Collective for those that may have not met you before, and then tell me why it's important that they strategize much earlier than some of them may be doing right now.
Okay. So we are the Vertical Collective. We are a women-owned, women-run product development manufacturing firm. We have offices throughout the US and Asia, and we're basically your one-stop shop, your full product resource company that can get you from concept all the way through to landed goods to your warehouse. And we specialize in about 45 different categories across women's, men's, home, lifestyle, tactical, and onwards. That is the Vertical Collective team, and we're excited to be here today and always thrilled to be a partner of SUBTA. I think, what we are talking about right now with Spring 22, really a lot of the product that we're talking about, the beauty of it is making sure it's customized to your customer and to your demographic and your target. At the end of the day, if you're just kind of sourcing stuff at the last minute and just slapping it in the box or slapping some sort of a label on it and just hoping for the best, like that's not a long-term strategy. We get it. There's always emergencies and things like that where something doesn't deliver and you need to just come up with a plan. But truly, you want to really execute product in a really strategic way that keeps your customers excited for their next box, have them love the current product that they receive. You want to make sure you're giving enough time in the development process to customize it, whether it's colors, materials, prints, branding, just really make it special, right? We always like to give our clients at least 6 months of runway on that side so we can develop properly, make sure the quality is executed perfectly, but also just have some fun with product and make it look good.
One thing before we get in these items that we want to review, I wonder if some of the fear is like, putting down deposits or like, how does that look like, right? Like, can they decide on the product and not have to worry about deposits for a little bit longer? What are some of the things that you can do to work with some of the brands, or what should they be asking maybe some of the other sourcing companies they work with so that they can get ahead and not be so worried about the cash flow issue?
Yeah, a good partner on the manufacturing side shouldn't be forcing you to put a deposit down when early on in the development process. Really, truly, when you get through your sample rounds, make your decisions, make some adjustments, obviously within reason, and then you're ready to cut your purchase order. That's the time to talk about deposits and terms. You always want to make sure you're talking about it as upfront as possible, but a good partner on the product side will let you go through sample rounds. Maybe you pay for the FedEx or the UPS to get it, the samples in your hands, but you find some place to meet in the middle where there's a give and take on both sides of who's covering the cost. But a good sourcing partner will let you develop product, right? That's the whole thing. They can't just expect you to demand a deposit.
Yeah. So the critical part is being well ahead of the product development, getting the samples, picking it out, and then you can put your purchase order in as normal, but you want to be ahead, you're saying, so that you're not scrambling last minute. And we all know what happens when you scramble last minute is now the products come late, which means delivery could come late, and it affects the customer experience. So, one critical tip for any subscription box is get well ahead of curation. I remember the Gentleman's Box, we were 12 months ahead. So in January, we knew what was going in the December box. And it doesn't mean 1 or 2 items might not change because of something, but for the most part, it was like spot on. And I would say 95% of the time, that's what was going to be in the future box. So this is really good. Catherine, let's get right into this. Let's talk about spring 2022 items. I'm looking forward to seeing this. And let's start off with the first item you've got.
Yeah, so the first thing, spring is one of the most fun seasons to curate for, right? You're coming out of cold winter, cold weather. Everyone's kind of, you've gotten through the holidays and now you're ready for something fresh and new. You're ready to be outside. You're ready to kind of change things up a little bit, whether it's your wardrobe, your closet, your house, what have you. So obviously, the whole world of the grilling, it really speaks to being outside and having fun. So our first item that we love is the grilling apron. This also works just inside the kitchen as well.
It's cool.
It is cool, right? Do you like this?
Yeah, I do.
We love this guy because, and obviously you can also add accessories to it.
Yeah.
So you mix and match it. You can add pot holders, grill mitts. This guy is awesome because you can really play around with all kinds of branding, all kinds of materials. You can go, PU, vegan leather. You can go real leather. This is function. It's utilitarian. It's also just a useful item to have around the house. But you can go really fun and crazy with the customization. You can even do fun prints.
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of very fun, great place to store items. These are also good gifts too, right? If you got this, you wouldn't be mad at this, right? Everybody has some sort of an apron for, whether it's just outdoor grilling or indoor kitchen stuff. And then make it a little set, bundle it up. You can do some pretty cool branding on here. Useful products that everybody needs.
What I love about something like that is you see so many people grill without an apron, right? And it's like, because guys in general, especially with guys grilling, we definitely don't think about that, or we don't go shopping for one. But if I got one, now I'm going to wear one, right? And so that's what's so great about curation. So I think it's a great item. So what does a value look like on something like that? What might it cost? I know we don't go exact here, but just give a feel for the audience.
Yeah, so something like this, a grill apron and a really nice heavy canvas with maybe, let's say, a PU pockets and some sort of fun detail in terms of the strapping. These guys retail anywhere from $125 to $175 at some of the higher end specialty stores. Even with the, even that can even go up with some of the great accessories. You can have something like this made under $10, really well made at a great factory with additional super functional gloves and mitts. We're talking about a really healthy margin, right?
Yeah.
Aprons.
I feel like the clothing arena is always pretty good about that. Right, anytime we're doing scarves and clothes, you can get a really good margin there. So I just feel like brands should be thinking about at least having one of those in their box every month to help bring up the value prop and keep costs down. So love it.
Yeah.
What else we got? What's number 2 on the docket?
So now that we're still kind of in the whole grill outdoor food world, which has been a big trend this last year because of COVID, and obviously not going to go anywhere anytime soon, but we love these kind of designer look trays, we call them. And this is really, again, these are kitchen items that really can double time as grill products or cutting board that you can use to showcase, your grilled whatever, veggies or meat or your charcuterie board. You can just go right from the grill, put it on the table, and it's just a beautiful you can get really fun and funky with whether it's a wood or ceramic with gold rims. You do something even like this, which obviously sidelines as like a decorative piece that ends up going in the living room on your coffee table. So again, these are really good trends. Trend products, really high perceived value, great for gifting, but also just something, again, like we always say, you don't really necessarily go out to the store and say, I need this leaf platter. But if someone gave it to me, it's pretty cool. I'm going to use it. And then after I use it, I'm going to put it out somewhere in my house. Yeah. So this looks cool, even if it's on your back.
I actually like that gold tray. It just made me think. So I'm having a home remodeled. And in my master bath, there's like a big gap between the 2 sinks. And that could go right in the middle, right? And you'd put you're my cologne and toothpaste, Yeah, that's cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of uses for these kinds of things. And they just, you just don't really think about it necessarily. But then when you have it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can, like you said, I can use it in my bathroom, in my bedroom, dining room, what have you. There's fun ways to do it and great things that you can execute on. Again, something that even hangs in your kitchen or hangs outdoor and then has function after you're done using it.
And good value and cost. I think one issue might be the weight, right? They can be heavy. That's something to consider.
They can be heavy. Obviously, when you're
Yeah.
talking about ceramics, you want to make sure that it's packed in some sort of polystyrene, or bubble wrap. We're doing all kinds of cool sustainable packaging here at the Vertical Collective this last year, which has been really another just upsell because the entire story, all the way down to the product being sustainable, sustainably made, and just something that you can reuse for years. But above and beyond that, adding really great packaging that is sustainable, eco-friendly, potentially biodegradable, just reducing that carbon footprint has been a big initiative for us on this side, and we extend that to all of our clients and make sure that they know how to ship something so it doesn't break. But then again, you can add to the story of like, okay, maybe there's a little bit of extra packing, but it's biodegradable.
Good. And for those of you watching, if you have any questions about product sourcing or any questions about the items that Catherine's showing, please feel free to throw them in the comments, and we can be sure to answer them. So next, we've got another decorative item, right? We've got these decorative jars.
Yeah. Form and function.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's the cap there? Is it like a...
It's cork.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we love these. So, okay, I was looking at these on Instagram the other day. This is selling for $85.
What's it cost?
3, in the 150s for 3 glass jars. These are between 6 and 12 for the set.
What if you ordered 10,000 units? What do you think it'd be? I'm not holding you to the stuff. I'm just trying to gauge for the audience. Like, right? Because with scale, it gets much cheaper. Does it get like, do you think it goes down to $3, $4?
Absolutely.
I mean, think about that. $150 in value.
Yeah.
$10, $15 maybe if you're ordering enough quantity. Like, because I always try to, and I know it doesn't work for every product, but I try to spend 10% of the value. I try to pay. I know it doesn't work on the electronics or some of the higher, like some of the other items, but like right there is a way you could do it. Ordering enough quantity, you could really, and you could put one in there. Like,
you could put food, granola, flour. You could put liquids, right? You can even use this as a serving, like at an event or fun party. You can put all kinds of kitchen stuff in it. You can put spices in these, right? Speaking to the whole outdoor kind of grill world of spring. And I think, what's cool about this is glass again. And I know, we have a couple glass items that we're showing today. And I know people are concerned, right? Glass is a little bit more complicated to ship, but really it isn't, right? If you have the right packaging that you've built out around it, you can customize that packaging. There's a huge trend, obviously, as you know, of people trying to get away from plastic, right?
Sure.
For health reasons, just for the environmental footprint, reasons. Glass is sustainable. It's beautiful. It has a high perceived value, and it really is not that hard to ship if you do it correctly. It can just up your kitchen game. It can up your grill game. And again, this is something even to your bathroom. Like maybe you use it, as a kitchen item for a bit, and then you put stuff. You can put cotton swabs in it, and it just becomes a really cool thing that you have forever. I mean, this is not going to go out of trend.
Right.
Hopefully, the prices on Instagram will come down.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, and so now next we got another sort of spring grade item. It looks like here for picnics, towels and blankets. Let's see what we got here.
Picnic, beach, the Vertical Collective, we wouldn't be us if we didn't have some sort of a fun textile in place. We love throws. We love blankets. Our clients really do well with blankets, throws, picnic towels. So again, these are high margin items in the sense of you can have beautiful materials, right? Some of these are 100% cotton. You can go fun with prints. They are easy for travel, easy to throw in your car, even, easy to just go to the park, have a little picnic. But all kinds of great different materials that you can use, whether it's wool or, again, cotton or Egyptian cotton or even some sort of a poly blend to bring the cost down. But you can really have fun with colors here. Colors, prints, and branding, right? So this is a place to really tell the story. Wait, I have another really good one. Look at this, Chris. This is a beach mat.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's awesome.
Grass beach mat. Again, throw it out on the, at the lake, you're on your boat, you're just at the beach or at the pool. And you can even package it in with a tote like this. Super fun.
That's super cool. I got to imagine, like, you get that in a box, you get your value just in that.
Totally. And you can fold the woven mat in a different way. But again, this is a natural fiber. So just a really fun, easy story. Who doesn't need more throw blankets or picnic towels?
Yeah.
You can also do like a waterproof layer on top. There's a trend that's happening right now, which is called the sand towel, where you take a giant towel that has a special coating on it, you throw it on the beach, and when you lift it up to leave, it repels all the sand. Not only waterproof, but also just sandproof. So, you're at the beach with the kids and all, it's just a disaster in the car. But if you can just shake out your blanket, there's not one piece of sand that's going home with you, which is, I believe, many parents out there. Again, high perceived value. So blankets, towels, on the retail side, anywhere from 65 upwards of, low hundreds, maybe more, depending on what the brand is and what the story is. Not that complicated to produce. It's a more simple item on the production side, so your lead time actually is a little bit faster, so you can spend a little bit more time developing some cool story behind it.
It's amazing. Before we get into the next item, I want to remind everybody watching that Monday is the final day to submit for the SUBTA 2021 SubSummit pitch competition. So if you're a new business, it's been in business less than 2 years, go to the link below, which is subsummit.com/pitches. Make sure that you apply. The grand prize pool is $20,000 with $10,000 being in a check. So, that's a great prize. It's the biggest prize you've ever had. Part of the pitch competition involves 2 virtual pitches with a final one happening, with the final 4 going to Dallas, Texas for the final pitch with 5 different judges and your chance to win $20,000 in prizes. All 4 companies that do make the finals, they get free flight and hotel to SubSummit and get free tickets. So at the minimum, they're going to be at SubSummit. So super exciting for that. And a quick reminder on SubSummit, that's September 21st to the 23rd in Dallas, Texas. We're really excited about that. We've already got over 78 sponsors that are committed. We're expecting over 800 attendees, and I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody again in person. So just want to drop in that quick break, let everybody know about the pitch competition, and hope to see everybody in Dallas. Catherine, before we go on to the next item, the 5th item, what are some things that's going on with sourcing right now, right? Because there's some material shortage. Can we give some insight to everybody on this? It could be super helpful.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked, because we are just at a pivotal time right now as it relates to sourcing. I think the biggest thing, right, what we're seeing is just fluctuations, in cost of raw materials, but just availability of raw materials. And I think a lot of it has come from COVID, right? There was a huge pivot into a very dramatic pivot, as we know, into materials, plastics, for pumps, for hand sanitizer, and all these things that, you saw this crazy thing with the toilet paper. And so that affects the raw material of paper and trees. And, 90% of what we use comes from natural resources, right? Nitrile gloves as an example. So we're seeing huge shortages in really important commodities. And the problem is that it's continuing, right? You see what's happening in India right now, which is just absolutely awful. A large amount of the cotton that the world uses on a regular basis comes from India. So when you have a country like India shut down for weeks, we don't know how long it's going to go, you're going to see those prices, A, skyrocket, but B, it's just going to be much harder to find. And when you do find, it's going to be so much more expensive. So I think, this is where what we talked about with this, like, at least you're always buffering a good amount of time to develop your products really becomes integral, right? It always has been, but now more so than ever. Because let's say you want to do this blanket in 100% cotton and it's for spring 22, and now your supplier is saying, you know what, the price is 5x, but we can do a polyester blend, we can reduce the amount of cotton, right. I'll give you a better price. And so now, you're off to the races. You have an option. You can still do the blanket that you had in works. Do you have enough time to adjust it? You have enough time to look at maybe new materials or potentially pivot out of an item completely. So it's about building out this calendar that just makes sense and gives you that flexibility to make changes without sacrificing.
That's really good insight, and you got to get ahead.
You have to get ahead.
Yeah, so that's super important. Okay, I know we got 3 items left, so let's see what we got next here.
All right. So, overarching theme for spring is being outside. We love the cooler bag. Here's the thing about these cooler bags, right? Obviously, you can have your giant Yeti cooler that you're dragging around. It takes 5 people to get it out of the car when it's loaded with drinks and beers and food, etc. But everybody wants to be outside. Everyone wants to be together. It's all about meeting up at parks and the beach, or the lake, or just in someone's yard. Having a super easy portable cooler is fantastic. I mean, look at this, Chris. We have this super cute market hall.
I can attest to this. We had this in our premium gentleman's box. I don't know. It was in 2019 or 20, and it was a big hit. It folded up nicely. It was flat. It didn't take up any room. It wasn't heavy. High perceived value. This is I can attest that the data showed this should be a must-have in someone's box because they worked out really well and people really loved them.
This is a must-have, and what's great about this is you can go sort of unisex or more masculine. But look at this. I mean, this is a cooler bag. It's a backpack. It's
so
super
cool.
And it's rad. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. So regardless of the demographic, whether it's male, female, or even unisex, you can just make a super functional cooler bag.
So cool.
Who isn't going to want this? Like, it's so cool. You can go.
I've seen a backpack one too, right? There's a backpack one.
This is a backpack.
Oh yeah. It's so cool.
Holds all kinds of stuff. Keeps your wine, your beverages, your waters cold for hours. Has all kinds of inside functional pockets. I mean, just easy stuff. Again, throw in the car, throw on your bike, or just walk with it. Just a great accessory. And you can add on all kinds of things. You can do things with the strapping, with the colors, with the logo, the branding. You can put like bottle openers in here, additional cooler packs, ice packs. Really a great story. And what we love about this cooler, like this guy, when it shipped, was inside the box. It had all of the products, the other products that came in the box inside of it. So it was like this turnkey story, right? Like you open it up and you're like, I get it. This is the experience. Cool. I'm going to live this story out in real life because it was just merchandised really well.
I love it. Before we go to the next item, Trudy, who's watching, hey Trudy, good to see that you're watching today. She posted a question. What is the minimum quantity before exploring sourcing this way? So I know that it could vary, but like, what's your recommendation? Everybody's trying to save costs, and what do you think is that level, the minimum order quantity that starts to make sense?
I think about 1,000 units. Like we get it all the time. We manufacture up into the hundreds of thousands for certain units, down to 1,000 units for, in order for just the unit economics to make sense, and to do it offshore and to be able to at least take a position and negotiate with your factories. You're going to want to be at least in that 1,000 units, and that's per colorway, right? That's per SKU, in order for it to make sense.
Is there though? Could you get creative? For example, let's say I was putting socks in a box.
Yeah.
Could I get creative and say I want to order 4 styles of 500 because I'm going to use them in the next 4 boxes? I know you said it's each SKU, but materials still, like, could that work maybe in some cases, or do you really think they should be at about 1,000?
No, that can absolutely work in some cases. And back to your earlier point about raw material shortages and cost of product going up, that's a really great way to position yourself. So let's say you're buying 4 pairs of 4 sets of socks in the 500 units, and you're going to just paste those out over your 4 boxes. What you've just done is really brilliant, right? Because now you're securing the price at today's price. The prices probably will go up, right? That's what we're seeing right now, just crazy fluctuation on the manufacturing side and on the raw material side. So now you've taken a really strategic position on your costing, and you have your product. You don't have to worry about shipping delays and port delays and all this other stuff that's going on. You have your product in your warehouse. You've gotten a little bit less, amounts of units per SKU, but you're good to go, and you've protected the price point.
I love it. All right, so we got another bag you're going to show us here, which is super cool. What's this one?
So I think what we're seeing trend-wise is just, it's all about the kind of convertible multi-function product. And again, that's where you can really see a bang for your buck in terms of the retail value, right? It's not just like a simple canvas tote that is maybe boring. Maybe you slapped your brand on it, but again, it's just a tote. It doesn't really do much. It doesn't really help your life in any way. But if you find a product that does help your life in a lot of ways, so this guy, we love this bag. This is a convertible duffel bag. It is a backpack.
Sick.
It is a carry-on. It can be
This is so cool.
gym bag, right?
Can you bring me one of these to Dallas or what? Like, I need one of these.
I'm going to send you one of these, Chris.
That's so cool.
It has a shoe compartment in here.
Oh
so
my gosh.
It's right inside, separate from the rest of your stuff. It has a padded laptop.
That's what is a carry-on on a plane?
Yeah, it's a carry-on.
Oh my gosh.
It expands out, and then it has all kinds of bells and whistles. I mean, this is like one of the coolest bags I've ever seen. For your water bottle, the whole thing expands into a much larger bag. Padded laptop case. I mean, this guy's a workhorse, right? So this is a $250 bag. Probably could produce it for what, $15, $16 landed.
Wow.
It's a beast. This is the kind of thing that we love, and this is, you know, as people want less stuff, but the things that they do want need to do more for them. This is the place to go. You can ship this flat, right? You can fill it with all the products in your box. You can even fold it. You can do all kinds of crazy things to this thing, but who doesn't want this? I mean,
that's like the definition of a hero item.
This is a hero item.
So let's touch on that real quick, and then we're coming up on time, but I don't care. We're going to extend this because this is rolling good. Tell everybody about that hero item, because I bet you some people aren't that familiar with it, but a lot of brands have what they call the hero item, and it's a flagship for that month's box. Can you just kind of sort of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so the hero item, you know, when we look at boxes that are having a really successful track record versus boxes that are maybe kind of at a stalemate or not seeing that uptick that you would like to see, right, out of not necessarily in the beginning, but kind of as they get into year 2, 3, 4, where we're identifying the issue is really not having a hero item, right? So our viewpoint is every box, every season, whether it's winter, spring, summer, should have some sort of a gangbuster hero item, something really cool. And the rest of the story doesn't necessarily need to be built around that hero item, but that's the thing when you open the box that's like, oh my goodness, I needed this. I didn't know I needed it. Now I know I need it. The hero item should be, you know, in terms of percentages, I would say probably maybe take up 60% of your budget, right? Mm-hmm. And then below that, you can build in all the other ancillary add-on products or other things that go with it. But I would secure, you know, a nice amount of your budget for this hero item. It's special, it's attainable, it screams perceived value, and it makes your box relevant, right? And again, if you're not breaking your budget equally across every single item, let's say you have 6 items, every single thing's like a $2 item, you know, like that might get boring for your customers after a while when they're kind of like, I really wish I had something neat that I had to take to the beach or throw in my car or use as my work bag or a great poncho, you know, all kinds of things on the kind of utilitarian side, but really just cool items. And again, you know your customer, you know what they like, right? You know the colors, the materials, from the styles. So that's really where you can take that hero item. You're developing it early on enough. You have time to really, you know, listen to what your customers are wanting and make sure it speaks right into that product.
I love it. So good. All right, let's get into the last item here.
All right. Last item is a really simple one. Again, just going back to people just trying to simplify things. These are packing organizers, and I think this kind of speaks to even like this convertible duffel bag, right? This beast that we talked about. Everyone wants to get a little bit more organized. These are some ways. We're seeing these in all kinds of prints and different materials and executions, but again, just packing organizers. What's great about these is, you know, we all want to get back on the road, right? I can't wait for Dallas, speaking of on the road. But we always want to travel. But I feel like now that we've all been kind of stuck at home for so long, I feel like I like need to be organized about it, right? Like it's been so long, I don't have my usual kind of routines, and so getting organized on the packing side just makes it a little bit better, right? Everybody's ready to kind of be out there and be back in the airplanes and all that fun stuff. So love these items, super easy for travel. even for just throwing, going to work or going back to the office, just having a little bit more of a plan. You can put sweaters, shirts, underwear, all kinds of little things in here, easy to pack in your closet. They stack up, they go into one another. Simple items, not inexpensive to make.
Yeah, I'll say high margin items again. I mean,
yeah,
those are great.
They're great, and you can do a set of 3. They flat pack. You can put all 3 one stacked inside the other, so it's super, almost like thinner than a notebook. In the end of the day, goes at the base of your box. Possibly, this is a great story that would be an add-on to a cool bag, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a convertible. Make it a travel story. Everybody's going to be wanting, to up their travel game this next
coming up
year as we're back on track, and so easy. Kind of spring transitional items, a little bit cheaper on the price point side to manufacture. Very lightweight, so easy to ship, right? Keep your transportation costs low, but high perceived value because with the zippers and the functionality, and if you can do a set of 2 or a set of 3, just super practical items. These are also things you can just use at home for organization as well, like even in your closet if you are neat or ready for your kind of spring cleaning.
Love it. Catherine, this was amazing. Thank you always for your insight. For those watching, how can they get a hold of you if they want to ask questions about sourcing?
You can go to our website, which is theverticalcollective.com. Our Instagram is, our handle is theverticalcollective. You can also email us at info@theverticalcollective.com, and ready to be a resource to anybody who is interested in these items or any other items. And again, we'll just help you navigate this, these more challenging times as it relates to sourcing, manufacturing, and remember, just give yourself enough time to develop properly, do it with the right partner, and have fun with it.
Amazing, Catherine. Thank you so much. For those of you watching, thank you for tuning in. As a reminder, Monday's the deadline for the SubSummit 21 pitch competition. Make sure you apply. We got a $20,000 grand prize. SubSummit's going to be in Dallas this year, 21st to the 23rd of September. Get your tickets now. Those are for sale. There's early bird pricing. And also, we'll be back on Tuesday. I've got a No Excuses, I believe, and I'll always be back on every Friday with another expert in the space. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Catherine, thank you again for everything, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Chris. Have a wonderful weekend.